Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to my living room. Would you like to join me for some yoga? We're going to start on our mat, standing. And before we get into all the yoga stuff, just stand here and let's move our body a little bit and loosen up. And we're going to do this through twists. So just twist your body one way, relax as much as you can, twist it the other way. Try and just let your arms swing. Trying to let tension go out of your body so your spine can just twist as naturally as possible. As you twist to the left, you kind of firmly plant into your left foot. As you twist to the right, you're planting into that foot. All right, and now we're going to do another quick standing stretch, which will just be stand on your mat, go onto your tippy toes and just reach as high as you can, and then let go. And go up, take a big breath in, and then exhale, let go. And when you reach, try to really reach as high as you can, stretching every part of your body. All right, now as we get into the yoga, there's just two little things I want you to remember because I'm going to refer back to them a lot. So the first is, I'm going to sometimes ask you to tilt your pelvis up. When I ask you to tilt your pelvis up, just imagine you're squeezing your butt and your pelvis is tilting up like that. All right, and when I say tilt your pelvis down, you're doing the opposite. You're creating this arch in your lower back, and you're going to think of lengthening your stomach as much as possible. So tilt pelvis up, you squeeze your butt, this contracts your stomach. Tilt your pelvis down, you lengthen the stomach. Up, down, up, down. Okay. So first, to get into this session, we're just going to do forward fold. So try to just stand feet roughly hip width apart, and then you're just going to fold over. You're going to allow a little bend in your knees, but your legs are going to stay relatively straight. It doesn't matter if your hands can come all the way down or not. You can just put your hands on your knees, on your legs, anywhere. If they can come down, sweet. And we're just going to stay here for a moment in forward fold. Feel free to shift around a little bit to see how things feel. I like to kind of like move my feet around, move my toes around, move my ankles, because I notice that I don't stand on my two legs completely evenly. So as I'm in forward fold, I can see pressures being put in different parts of my left foot compared to my right foot. But you don't have to do that. That's just something I found that works well for me. Okay, so always when we're staying in a static yoga pose, when you're really new to yoga, there's a lot to think about, so this can be difficult. But as you start getting accustomed to poses, you want to try and lengthen your inhales and exhales. Okay, so the next pose we're going to go to is just a squat. And we're gonna try and go there very quickly. So if you're uncomfortable in forward fold, you can just stand up for a second to gain some comfort back. But the goal here is to go from this standing position down into a squat. And we wanna go very slowly. So put your hands together at your chest and begin to lower down. And you can go faster if you need to, but you wanna try and go relatively slowly, feeling out all these different muscles that are at play here as we lower down into our squat. And then we're gonna come all the way down. And perhaps the last portion was difficult and you fell or something, and that's fine. But however you get there, just come now to a squat. And when you're in your squat, feel free to go onto your hands to help balance. And you're then going to widen your feet a little bit. So, using your hands to balance and with your feet a little bit wider, we're now going to start rocking side to side. And you're going to try and touch your right knee to the ground, and then you're going to touch your left knee to the ground. And you'll probably need to look at me to see what I'm doing, because I don't know how the fuck to describe this shit. But you're going to look like a little monkey, swaying your hips side to side, tapping your knees on the ground. And as you're doing this, you should be getting a nice toe stretch. So as I go onto my right knee, as I tap that down, my ankle is coming off the ground, my heel is coming off the ground, and my weight is being put into my toes. And the same thing goes when I go to my left side. Right. And we're going to go from here to table. Table means you're just putting your knees on the ground, you put your hands on the ground, and you're also going to have your feet on the ground with the tops of the feet down. So, tabletop. From here, we're going to be doing more pelvic tilting. So remember what I said before? We're first going to tilt our pelvis up. And when we tilt our pelvis up, we squeeze the butt, we round the back, and this gives us cat pose. Then we're going to tilt the pelvis down. We do that, we lengthen the belly, and we enter cat pose. All right, so let's go, oh sorry, we entered fucking cow pose. All right, now go back to cat pose. Cat pose, tilt the pelvis up, squeeze the butt, round the back. Then cow pose. And we're just going to alternate between these a few times. So just go at whatever pace you want. And you might be wondering, am I doing this right? Am I breathing right? And don't worry about those, because the truth is you're never doing it right, and there's always more to learn. And for your first sessions, you really just want to move. You know, like if you're learning any skill, you just need volume. So if you're doing it, you're doing it right. But if we keep going over many other days, hopefully, then we'll be able to learn more concepts. Okay, so now we're just going to come back to a neutral table. And from our neutral tabletop, you're going to extend your right arm. And as you do this, you're going to try and maintain as much of a neutral table as you can without compensating too much for the challenge and balance that you've added. So try and keep it straight and even like it was before. But you know, that's your goal, you're doing your best. Then put your right arm down. Put your left arm forward. Same deal. Okay, now put that arm down. Now, raise your right leg straight behind you. And as you do this, I want you to think of the upward pelvic tilt. So this is going to be much more subtle than when we were in other positions, but when you're here and you're lifting your leg, you don't want to like curve your back and let your back be doing the work to lift your leg. You want to keep your back straight and you want the leg muscles to be doing the work. In order to do that, you tilt the pelvis up. So this means shortening the stomach, squeezing the butt, and this makes it so that the lower back is not doing the work. The leg muscles are doing the work. Okay, now go ahead and lower that right leg, and we're gonna do the same thing with the left leg. Remember to try and tilt your pelvis up. It's gonna be very subtle. It's not a huge movement. It's more just activating muscles. And it's only gonna move your body a little bit, but it'll make a big difference in terms of how the exercise is done. Okay, and then lower your left leg. Now this is a bit of a challenge, but just try your hardest. So you're gonna raise your right arm, and you're also gonna raise your left leg. And we're just gonna hold this for a couple of seconds, and then drop it. And then we're gonna do left arm and right leg. And then drop that. And from here, we're gonna go into a plank. So to do that, you put both of your legs back and you come up off of your knees. So you're on your hands and feet, you're in a plank. And in plank, similarly, you want to think of that upward pelvic tilt. So you're trying to shorten your stomach, squeezing your butt a little bit. It's not like a big squeeze, but just a little butt squeeze. And this helps activate your core. Just gonna stay here for a few seconds. Then we're gonna go down to our knees and we're gonna come onto our stomachs. So you're laying completely flat on your stomach, and then you put your hands in front of you so that your hands are positioned a little bit in front of your shoulders. And then you're gonna raise up a little bit for a small cobra. And when you're in cobra, you don't wanna be shoving through your hands. You wanna be kind of gentle through your hands and letting the muscles of the body do the work. So just raise up a little bit for cobra, and then we'll go back down into plank. And from plank, we're gonna go into downward dog. And then we're gonna walk our feet up to the front of the mat. And now we're going to be in forward fold. So just take some breaths to relax in a nice, lovely forward fold. And then we're going to raise up halfway. So we're trying to make our body parallel to the floor. And when you're in this pose, you actually want to be thinking of tilting your pelvis down. When you tilt your pelvis down in a fold like this, it's going to stretch the hamstrings under your butt. So those muscles will get stretched because you're tilting the pelvis in opposition of that. And that stretch in the hamstrings is exactly the feeling you want when you're in folds. So I hope you're able to get that feeling, but if not, then just be patient, it will come a time. And if you do have that feeling of that stretch in your hamstrings, then what you're gonna do is go down into a forward fold all the way, and you're gonna try and maintain that stretching feeling. So try not to let that go as you fold down. You wanna still feel the hamstring stretch if possible. And then we're gonna rise up all the way to our feet, put our hands in the air for mountain pose. And then you're gonna lower your hands to your chest. Close your eyes and just breathe a bit. And then we're going to bring our right leg back and we're going to go into a lunge. As we're in lunge, you want to think of tilting your pelvis up. When you do this, it's going to create a nice big stretch on your right hip flexor. So that's this muscle or tendon, I don't even fucking know, some shit. It's a muscle, definitely a muscle, that goes up here on the side of your body. And that is going to get stretched a lot when you tilt your pelvis. What did I say up? I should have said down. Tilting your pelvis down. Oh wait, no, you are tilting your pelvis up. Sorry, it's very confusing. Yeah, you are tilting your pelvis up. Yeah, okay. So you're kind of squeezing your butt. Squeeze your butt, tilt your pelvis like this, and you'll notice it can barely move. It really can't because it's immediately going to pull on this. Anyway, sorry. Then we're going to go into Warrior One. And you do this by putting your foot, your back foot, your right foot flat and at something like a 45-degree angle. In a Warrior One, we try our best to square our hips and face forward, but that will likely be a challenge. Then we will go into Warrior Two. For this, you're going to face the right side of your mat, put your arms out like this, and do your best to try and imagine your spine being straight. Try not to lean forward, try not to lean backwards. Do your best to keep a straight spine. And then we're going to come into a wide mountain pose. So you're going to bring your right foot so that it's in line with your left foot, but you're going to keep them both wide. And then you're going to stand as tall as you can in this wide mountain pose. And then you're going to turn to the right side of your mat, and we're now going to do a lunge with the right leg forward. Okay, so your right leg is forward. I'm just going to turn around so I can see the front of the room, but it doesn't matter what direction you're facing so long as your right leg is now in the front. So this is the same as before. It's a lunge, just on the other side. And if you're able to achieve that hip flexor stretch in your left side now, awesome. If not, I'm sure you'll get it another time. Then we're going to go to Warrior One. Hips as square as you can get them, facing forward. Then Warrior Two, facing the left side. Okay, and now we're going to go into wide mountain again. And then you're just going to heel toe, your feet together. And then we're going to go into a forward fold again. Come all the way down onto your butt. Put your legs in front of you. You're sitting on your butt, your legs in front of you. And then you're going to bring your knees up So you're just scooching your feet a little closer. And then you're going to take your right foot and bring it over your left knee. So just position your left foot whatever allows you to do this comfortably. And another thing, try and activate your right foot. And by activating that muscle, it's going to add some protection to the knee. Because if these muscles are all just dead, then the knee is kind of just like getting yanked at. So you want to activate these muscles to sort of protect that. Put your hands behind you and then roll onto your right hip. And I like to go onto my right forearm to get a little deeper. And we're just massaging the right hip. So to make this more intense, you bring your left foot closer, and that'll make this whole arrangement tighter, so your right butt will be tighter and you'll get better massage. But that depends on whatever's comfortable for you, because that might hurt. And if you want to go even deeper, then if what I was just doing is good for you, keep doing that. But if you want to go deeper, you can actually hook your right foot into your left elbow. And then that allows you to pull your leg in even tighter. And then you're going to go do the same thing. And you're just rocking onto that hip to massage it. Oh, so nice. Of course, we all wish we had someone to massage our ass, but some of us have to do it ourselves. All right, so now we're just gonna swap to the other side. So, as I said before, you can just put your left leg over your right knee, if that is what's comfortable for you. If you want a deeper stretch, go ahead and hook your left foot into your right elbow. You can either go onto your left hand or your left forearm. And then we're just, massaging that hip. So good. All right. Now you're just going to put both legs in front of you. Make yourself decent. Then we're going to lie onto our back. Put your hands down by your sides. Try and just relax as much as possible. Just do a quick little mental check. Wiggle your toes a little bit, wiggle your ankles, wiggle your legs, with the goal of just relaxing everything and just introducing the gentlest movement possible. Your hips, abdomen, shoulders, and then the rest of the owl. Just inhale and exhale. Try and lengthen those. We'll talk more about breathing another time. So good job if you made it through. I don't know how challenging it was. Let me know and we can figure out how to make the next session. But for now, Good job not being an absolute puss. And thank you for joining me. Peace.